You can do bad all by yourself. So you don't need nobody. You don't like people. Everybody gets on your nerves. You're fine all alone. Are you really? So today I want to talk about the importance of community. Let's talk about it. Hey guys, so welcome to the Princess FornahNetwork. I'm Princess Fornah, aka Pastor P. Here's me making an effort to drop a video for you guys every week. This is my attempt to help young people navigate through their 20s and their teenage years as best as I can with the experiences and the knowledge that I have so far in life. All right, you guys. So, one thing I remember about being young and being a Christian was just how hard it was to try to stay true to myself. A lot of times as young people, we tend to have double lives. When we are not in church, we have a separate life, we have a separate group of friends, but then when we're in church, we're also different people. So a lot of times wanting to really be a young Christian, it's really, really hard. I remember having friends in the neighborhood. I remember also having people that I hung out with in church, and then also going to school and having those different sets of friends as well. But in wanting to live a godly life and wanting to be a good Christian, it requires us to have community. Now, why is community important? Because we can't walk this walk alone. We can't. There's so many influences out there, so many influences in our communities, on social media, in our schools. It's a lot of negative influences. And as a young people, sometimes because of all the different things that we're being bombarded with, the different information, the different things that we see on social media, sometimes it's hard to want to even make it public that, oh, I'm a church girl, or oh, I'm a church boy. And so one thing that I got to realize that really helped me as a young person was being able to have a community in the sense that, is it maybe that youth group at church? Is it that young adult group at your church? Is it maybe like a small group or a home cell of young believers that come together to do different godly activities or godly events together? And so I found out that being able to have that, it helped me a lot. See, one thing I discovered in the Bible was in the book of Hebrews. I believe it says in Hebrews chapter 10, verse 25, it says, do not neglect the gathering of the brethren. And I'm paraphrasing. It says, just as some of them has, made it a habit to do, to not meet together. It says, but when we meet, we're able to what? Encourage each other, right? It says encouraging one another. And that's me paraphrasing yet again. And so it is important that we have community for one, because we cannot walk this walk alone. There's so much that we can do when we have others backing us up, or when we have that community of other young believers that we can relate with, that we can say, hey, here's an area that I'm struggling with, or I'm struggling at. Here's something that I'm having a hard time with. Another reason why I think having a community as a young person is important is for godly relationships. You are a result oftentimes of the people who hang around. So having godly relationships means, godly influence means people that will be around to tell you, hey, as a young believer, maybe you shouldn't be doing this, maybe you shouldn't be going here. A lot of times we struggle with different things, but having those godly relationships in our lives, at least we'll be able to hold each other up, we'll be able to hold each other accountable, we'll be able to walk with each other, alongside each other, going for things like, let's say, maybe youth camp or winter camp, or just different youth events in church, so we can encourage each other. And especially after we've gone out there and maybe, we've done one or two things, we've slipped, we've fallen, maybe we've sinned or whatever it may be, being able to come back in a community where they could say, okay, it's okay, we can still get back on track, or you don't have to journey this journey alone. But I think one thing too, though, that we have to be mindful of when it comes to having communities, because even in the church, right, we have some young people that have not all the way given their life to Christ yet. maybe they're new converts, new believers, and they're still maybe just journeying their path with God. And so sometimes we have to be able to identify those individuals, not necessarily ostracize them, but make sure that they in turn are not being a negative influence on us whilst they're going through their transformation or their new walk with God, that we're being positive influence on them as well.